These beautiful flowers. I am so excited because guess what? It is almost spring and I love spring. Look at all the flowers and the birds and some butterflies might come out. It's going to be great. I can't wait. And the sunshine. It's nice and getting warm and staying lighter. Just a wonderful time of year. Don't you think? And guess what? One of my favorite parts about this whole time of year is this wonderful holiday. Guess what it is? I think you said it. Did you say Easter? Because that's my favorite holiday. There's so many good things about Easter. Let's see. You definitely think about Easter when you think about those chocolates and candy, and sometimes you get some kind of presents or toys or something, and all that kind of stuff is definitely fun. Oh, sometimes you do an Easter egg hunt. Isn't that fun? Yeah. But guess what? Those are all good and fun and enjoyable and good times with family, right? But guess what? There's so much more! This is the day that we like to celebrate Jesus! Because this is what Jesus did for us. He came, He died, He rose again. And now we talk about this all the time. This is the kind of time of year we like to really focus on it because it's the most important event of all history. You heard me. I know. It's amazing. But guess what? Okay, before I get too carried away, I wanted to let you know that we are going to have a special guest each week here on my show. And this week, every week we're going to have this guy named John. Yeah, John. John was the guy who walked and lived and was taught by Jesus. Yeah, I know. You're saying, how does he come in here? He's in all these beautiful flowers? Nope. He is going to be all around. And so I'm going to say, hey, let's just listen to John for a little bit. He's going to introduce himself and then we'll come back. All right? Yay!
Hey there! Hey! Hey there, guys! Hey, why don't you come over here? Hey kids, welcome! This is John's Joyful Journey, and we're going to do every day, you're going to come with me all around Nazareth. And as we go around Nazareth, we'll look at different things about Jesus and his life. And today, guess what? We're talking about family. Do you have a family? Because I do. It's awesome having a family. But guess what? Jesus had a family too. And here in Nazareth, he lived with his family, grew up, and then guess what he did? He called more people, like myself, to himself to be his bigger family. It was crazy. Hey kids, oh my goodness, wasn't that John completely crazy? These guys, he is funny, and he's going to join us every day for the next month as we get closer and closer to the holiday Easter. It's so much fun this holiday Easter, right? The sky is so beautiful, we have flowers, it's just a wonderful time of year. But guess what? As we get closer and closer to Easter, we're going to be thinking about the wonderful stories that lead up to the moment when Jesus dies on the cross and then rises again. That's what it's all about. It's so awesome. Well, hey, John just gave us a little intro about what it means to be part of God's big family, right? And so to start us off as we think about what does that look like, what does that mean, I thought it would be good to start with this moment where there was a group of people who didn't really understand what Jesus was coming to do or who Jesus was, and they came to celebrate him thinking this was, that they were all part of this big plan, this big opportunity, this big celebration. But in reality, they were a little bit confused. What am I talking about? We're going to be looking at this story called the Triumphal Entry, or we sometimes think of it as happening on Palm Sunday, which is coming up. But I thought we'd start with this because this is what starts off the week we call Holy Week, the week that Jesus comes in to Jerusalem. Now think about it. If you were coming into Jerusalem and you were a king, how would you come in? Maybe on a really awesome beautiful horse, maybe on a big elephant. I don't know. Well, today maybe you would come in some really big, awesome limo. I don't know. There's so many awesome and incredible ways that you could come in and to show off and be like, hey, look at me. I'm a great king. But this is how Jesus decided to come. Let me read to you from this wonderful book, and we can hear the story of Jesus' triumphal entry. It is found in all the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, and Luke, and John. But we're going to look at the one as it's described in the book of Luke. It was time to celebrate Passover. Remember, Passover is that feast that remembers when the Israelites were saved by crossing through the Red Sea. They were saved from Egypt when the angel of death passed over their houses. So they were coming to celebrate the Passover. Many Israelites had traveled to Jerusalem to remember what God had done when he rescued his people from slavery in Egypt. Jesus and his disciples traveled to Jerusalem too. When they neared Bethphage and Bethany near the Mount of Olives, Jesus sent 2 of his disciples ahead of him into the village. As soon as you enter the village, you will find a young donkey tied there. No one has ever sat on this donkey. Untie it and bring it here. If anyone says to you, why are you doing this? Say, the Lord needs it. So the 2 disciples went and did just as Jesus asked. As they were untying the donkey, its owner said to them, hey, wait! What are you doing untying the donkey? The Lord needs it, they said. Then they brought the donkey to Jesus, threw their robes over the donkey, and helped Jesus get on it. People spread their robes along the road, and others spread palm branches and cut from the fields. So wait a minute. Let's just pause right there. Jesus rode on a what? He rode on a donkey. Hey, Jack, what do you think about that? Well, shoo-wee, you don't say. Oh, my word, heavens to Betsy, glory be mine. I did not know that Jesus rode into town on a donkey. Well, I'm just amazed that Jesus would want to ride on somebody like me. Oh, man, shucks. Wow, that might have been my great-grandpappy, I bet. Wow, that is so awesome. I know, right? That is pretty funny and pretty amazing. Jesus decided to come in showing everyone that he was the king by riding on a donkey of all the animals. Maybe it was, donkey's great-grandpappy. Whatever. But not only did he ride on the donkey, people saw this and did also think, oh my goodness, this is the king who we think is going to come and beat up those Romans, right? The Romans were the people who were in charge, and they were not treating the Jewish people like Jesus' people very well. And so they thought, oh, here is the guy who's going to actually defeat them and bring us all together and make us this really powerful nation. And so there was a whole bunch of people, right? Just like we were talking about the big family, these people thought, this is who God's family is all about. These people thought, here comes a king who's coming to defeat these Romans. Let's, honor him. So what did they do? They took their coats and they spread them out in front of the donkey. They kind of put it down on the ground there. And they put palm branches and also threw those down, showing that they were worshiping this guy, at least thinking they were worshiping this guy who was a king, but they didn't understand, right? So let's continue reading. Look, you're going to see this wonderful picture of Jesus coming into Jerusalem. It says, the whole crowd of the disciples praised God with a loud voice for all the miracles he had seen. The King who comes in the name of the Lord is blessed. Peace in heaven and glory in the highest heaven. Hosanna! The word Hosanna means save now. The people believed that Jesus was their promised king, and they hoped that he would save them from Rome. Some of the religious leaders said, Teacher, tell your disciples to be quiet. Jesus answered, if they did not praise me, the rocks would praise me. While Jesus was in the temple complex, people who were blind and people who were lame came to him. The blind and the lame were not usually allowed to worship in the temple, but Jesus went to them and healed them. Other religious leaders saw Jesus' miracles and heard the children say, Hosanna to the Son of David! Our King is here! And they were angry and asked Jesus, do you hear these children? They are saying you are the King. Yes, said Jesus. The psalmist said you have prepared a praise from the mouths of children. Jesus left them and went to the town of Bethany to spend the night. So here we have Jesus coming in on that donkey, and creating a new big family. What did we hear in our story? We heard that Jesus didn't come for those important religious people, nor did he come for all those people who thought, oh, here's that mighty king who's going to defeat the Romans. He came for all the lame and the blind, the hurting, the outcasts, the people who are way far away. He was bringing them near. Isn't that amazing? So as we go through this week, we are going, or this month, as we look at the week that Jesus went to the cross, which we call Holy Week, as we look at each of these little stories, we're going to think about how are we a part of God's big family? How are you going to be joined in to this wonderful thing that we see Jesus doing? He is reaching all people, and he loves you. Isn't that awesome? Hey, I will see you next week, and we will continue our stories about the last week of Jesus. Thanks.
Hello! Hi there! Woohoo! That was fun, that was fun. Doesn't that crazy John? I mean, he was just funny, popping out of everywhere and saying, hello, hello, hello. Well, now it's time to say goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. And I'm going to be so sad, but guess what, guess what, guess what? We will see more of John and on my show next week. It'll be great. And this week, as you remember, think about all of that Jesus has done to make us a part of his big, big family, right? It is amazing. And so we're going to hear more about how Jesus did that, not just with this one thing we call the Palm Sunday, where Jesus came, the triumphal entry, coming in on a donkey. Thanks, Jack, by the way. It was great having you. But yeah, we're going to hear more about this last week of Jesus, and then the final story of him on the cross, and then rising again. So stay tuned. It's going to be great. Okay? Okay. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.